third award, a public sector champion award. And this year I'm very pleased to offer that to our Governor, Peter Shumlin. Governor Shumlin has been a longtime supporter of renewable energy. And when one of his first acts as governor was to charge his public service department to re-energize, if you will, the energy planning process. They came out with a comprehensive energy plan that was readable, that was understandable, and set very aggressive goals, some of the most aggressive goals in the country, 90% renewables by 2050. Some of you may recall last year, the big topic of discussion last year is what are we going to do with our net metering program? It was broken, it was at capacity, and very challenging to try to figure out what the solution would be in a timely manner. He charged his administration to not just listen to proposals, but to actively participate and get the stakeholders together, get them to agree on what the solution would be, and got a bill signed by April of last year. It's an amazing accomplishment, and really reopened up that program for the next 2 years. Arguably one of our most successful renewable energy programs that we have. So there's lots to do. 90% by 2050 is an ambitious goal, and we have to do a lot now in order to get there. We want to recognize Governor Shumlin for all of the things he has done in relation to renewable energy, and we want to work closely with them to accomplish those aggressive goals. So we would like to thank Governor Shumlin for his...
Thank you, Rev. Thank you all. It is incredibly exciting to be in a room of planet savers and job creators. And I can't tell you how much this award means to me. To Madame Francoeur, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm about to go up and join your premiere. We're going to open up a electric car corridor between Montreal and Vermont, a new leg of the highway system, A35. And if anyone thinks that you've got a governor who's committed to renewables in Vermont, you're right. But we just elected I should say they did, I didn't get to vote. They elected a premier in Quebec whose #1 issue is the challenge of climate change. So I'm extraordinarily excited to have a partner to our north who gets this one. Listen, this award means as much to me as any award I've gotten for this simple reason. You all know we can't move fast enough to get off our addiction to oil, build out renewables, and change the way we do transportation so we're not running around with gas-driven vehicles, and ensure that we do energy efficiency right. And my vision for Vermont going forward is this simple. What will drive jobs and economic expansion in this state is making Vermont the small rural state that takes energy, innovation, and transformation and gets it right for our future generations and for our pocketbooks. And that's what you're doing with us together. I understand the headwinds. I understand that every time we make big change, there are folks who say, slow down. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way it sounds. You're not listening to me. I would argue that Vermonters do a better job of talking to each other and listening than anyone else in America. But I caution us all not to underestimate the change that lies ahead. And I ask you to re-find, rediscover, and reaffirm your voices with me together. It's a simple message. If we want our kids and our grandkids to have a livable planet, kind of a big one, we've got to move faster, not slow down, in harnessing every single renewable that we can conceive of to build them out in this small rural state. Yes, that means wind, that means sun, that means biomass, that means water, that means streams, and everything we can think of. We've got to keep pushing forward. We cannot slow down. The stakes have never been higher. The challenge has never been greater. And the great thing about the innovation of Vermonters is the opportunity for us has never been riper. Yes, I know that when you move from power generation that was made out there somewhere, out there way off somewhere, we didn't see it, we didn't hear it, and we couldn't feel it, to power generation right here in our backyards, in our fields, on our mountaintops, with our neighbors. That's change. And it's hard. But when we start to attack and question the inclusive process that we have to get this job done, I ask us to ask a simple question. What is the alternative? What's the alternative? The alternative means a governor embracing more floods like Irene, more rain dumped on Vermont, 12 inches in an hour, more loss of life, more loss of property, more loss of livelihood, more pain, more destruction. That's the alternative. When political candidates of major parties, as has happened in this election, say in debates, slow it down, government shouldn't be involved in this process, stop it. I've talked to Vermonters who say, and it shouldn't happen in my backyard. We all have a responsibility to pick up a pen and write a letter to the editor, to knock on a neighbor's door and say, wait, there's a different perspective, to stand up for small solar and big solar. It's in our hands. So I caution us to sit back and think we've got this one figured out. I can tell you from experience how quickly public opinion changes. The tougher things you do, the harder the lift is, the bigger change you want to make, the more quickly public opinion can change. So I accept this award from you on behalf of you and every single Vermonter who understands that our time is short, the clock is ticking, change has to happen more quickly than it has already, we're on the right track, but we've got to put our pedal to the accelerator and move off of oil with great vengeance to the exact renewables that we're building out with more commitment, more vision, and more articulation of why our kids and grandkids depend upon it and why jobs and job creation is at its foundation. I sometimes think we forget to recite the facts. I'm curious when I sometimes say, understanding that we still have huge economic challenges, Vermont does have one of the lowest unemployment rates in America. All of a sudden people say back to me, well, those numbers don't mean anything. I'm like, okay, fine. We created thousands of jobs. I've got employers that say we need more trained workforce. It is the same system that the other 49 states to measure jobs. It's not perfect. But how come when we're picking up jobs, suddenly the numbers don't mean anything?
Yeah.
Then I say, well, look at where we're picking up the jobs. This year, Vermont became the state in the nation that has the most jobs created from solar build-out in America. All of a sudden, they're saying, so you know what they say? Hey, well, yeah, but it's not that many. All right. No, fair enough, but it's compared to the other 49 states in America. I mean, how come the numbers don't work for me when they work for all the other governors? Here's my point. We're in this one together. I'm incredibly proud of the innovation that we're doing. I feel like we're on the very beginning of one of the most extraordinary examples of how to get this right. And all I can say to you is, when you look at what's happened with this conference, when I came to it years ago and there were 14 bearded hippies hanging around trying to figure out how to slap a solar panel together, and windmills that look like, well, we won't go there. Here we are, a room full of folks, transforming a state and setting an example for America. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. We got more work to do. Put the pedal to the metal. Speak up. Don't let them drag us down. Thank you so much.